We all know the story of David and Goliath, how Goliath was defeated by David. God helped David that day, but did you know that David also had some skills that he had developed that helped him win his battle? Hi, my name's Andrew. This is Faith Boost, and I'm here to boost your faith today with ancient secrets that still work in the modern world. Well, everyone knows the story of David and Goliath. It's actually part of just modern day culture. Even people who don't believe in Jesus and don't go to church know the story of David and Goliath. But forgetting the faith element, because there was a huge faith element to that story. It wasn't just a random thing that happened in David's life. He went by faith. He stood before Goliath by faith. He declared before he fought him by faith that he was going to win. He brought the Lord into that battle. But the Bible also says, and it's in 1 Samuel chapter 17, verse 49, that David put his hand in his bag and he took out a stone and he slung it and he struck the Philistine in his forehead so that the stone sank into his forehead and he fell on his face to the earth. And so obviously David gets a sling, slings the stone, bang, hits him right in the forehead. And then the Bible says the stone went into his forehead. I believe that the way the stone went into his forehead, this was supernatural. I believe God gave that breakthrough. But like many things in this life, we start in the natural and God finishes it in the spiritual. You know, the only reason the book of Acts was written was because the apostles acted. They took the first step. Jesus said, go into all the world and preach the gospel. And as they went, the Bible says the Lord worked with them. Sometimes you got to take a step. Sometimes you got to do something. And as you're doing something and stepping out in obedience, God meets you there. And as David slung that stone, God met him there and the stone went into his forehead. So there was a supernatural component. There was a spiritual component to this story as the stone sinks into Goliath's forehead and he falls down dead before David's feet. Remember, David's just a teenager. This is not normal. This is not common. You know, normally if a teenager who's untrained in war fights a full-time professional fighter, warrior, you got no chance, especially when the fighter's a giant. He's a grown man. He's massive. You know, he's bench pressing logs. He's just chucking them away. He's picking up rocks and big boulders and throwing them around like it's nothing. You know, this was a supernatural story. But let's check this out. David put his hand in his bag and he took out a stone. Now, shepherds in those days used slings and stones to protect their sheep. He would use it on bears. He would use it on lions. He would use it on wolves. He would use it to keep predators away from his flock. And the fact that he was so accurate meant that he had used that sling a lot and a lot and a lot. And I want to encourage us all today with this truth that, you know, you've got to perfect your natural talents as well as believe God. You know, I like Malcolm Gladwell's 10,000 hour theory. I think it's true. He went around researching all the very successful people in the world today. And what he discovered is all of them had done 10,000 hours in their chosen field. Like Bill Gates did his 10,000 hours on computers when no one asked him to, no one paid him to. He was passionate. He did his 10,000 hours and he reached a high level of competency. And I want to encourage you today, reach your 10,000 hours. Whatever it is in life that you do, yeah, believe God for breakthrough. Believe God for miracles. Believe God that He'll supernaturally help you in life. But you've also got to do the time. You've got to do the yards. You've got to do the preparation time. And David, practicing that sling, he would have been out in the woods. These sheep would have been just doing their thing, eating. He would have been practicing. He would have probably got, you know, a couple of old skulls from some dead rams or some dead sheep or something. He would have practiced slinging that stone, slinging that stone. You know, whatever it is in life that you do, focus on it. Dedicate yourself to it. Immerse yourself in it. You know, years ago, I wanted to be a corporate trainer. I joined corporate training organizations. I went to training days. You know, I joined institutions. I focused on it. I went after it and I ended up doing quite well as a corporate trainer, running my own business. You know, years ago, I wanted to get into radio. I started sending things out to radio stations, focusing on it, dedicating myself to it. You've got to do your 10,000 hours. Get really good at something and God will bless the work of your hands.